Hello everyone and welcome back to the Appalachian Bourbon Society Bar. We have a special guest with us tonight. Mike's joining us, but it is Friday, so y'all know what that means, right?
It's Fresh Crack Friday!
So you want to tell us what we have here, Mike?
Well, we have both been up to Southern Collective recently in
Yes,
Nashville,
sir.
and those are great guys. If you ever go to Nashville, I totally recommend you stop by there. And they were telling me this batch 2, and I fortunately never tried batch 1, that batch 2 was something they were distributing that's not a custom pick like a lot of the stores have that you see with the fancy wax on it. This was something that they were trying to get out nationwide, and they let us taste it while we were there, and I liked it, and Kim liked it. And so when a certain friend of mine went back to Nashville, I said, grab me a batch 2, because I came up with so many bottles, I wasn't allowed to have anymore. So the way to do that is let a friend bring back a bottle for you. That's the way. So we both tasted batch 2, but it was in a different environment, so I thought, let's try it again. It's been a little while, so tonight a fresh crack on this batch 2 from Southern Collective. And Jamie, would you do the honors?
I will.
That's a tight fit.
Oh,
There
that
you
was
go.
a pretty
That's
nice
pretty
crack.
nice. Pretty nice fresh crack there.
And other than it being a high rye, I really don't know much about the mash bill. I'll see if I can find out about it and put that on the bottom of the screen. But it is a bourbon whiskey. It is a high rye.
And it says aged a minimum of 5 years on it as well.
And
So-
what was the proof on this?
110.
That was one of the reasons I liked it too. For that's a lot of the cask strengths you get from Southern Collective and other ones, they can be 120 and higher. So when they came up with this 110 and they let us try it at the bar in there, I thought, man, that's pretty good whiskey.
Did you have a sample of this one when we were there? You remember?
Honestly, I don't remember. We tried so many that day that
It's a blur.
it is.
Well, that's the problem. You do something like Nashville, you get to try so many things, and when you come back, you're going like, what was my favorite again?
Right.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I do remember liking, and we actually said that on video, and Kim actually commented it was I don't think any bourbon is her favorite unless it's got Buffalo Trace on the front side of it, but she thought it was pretty good. She didn't object to it. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, that says something. If
Yeah,
she
she doesn't
yeah.
object to it, and she actually
Yeah.
was drinking it and made a nice comment about it.
I remember trying it, but I honestly don't remember what it tasted like.
Me either.
Was it the first one we tried sitting at the bar, or was it from the barrel? I don't remember now.
No, it was.
No, they were. If you
they
did
were
it at the
pouring
bar,
samples
they were doing that. It was at the bar.
Okay, because he poured us one sample before we started our tour in the back,
And
so I
could
bet
have
it was
been-
that.
It could have
Okay.
been the batch too.
Yes, it was. I remember it specifically now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I asked him about the batch 2, and he said, I got a sample right here, and he poured me a sample.
Yes.
Yep, that was the first thing we tried.
Okay.
Because
Well, it's got a nice aroma to it.
It does.
it does.
I get definitely some molasses brown sugar sweetness. I am getting a little bit of oak leather kind of aroma off, but nothing real bitter.
I can see that. A slight fruit note.
Yeah, there's some fruit in there. I can't identify what it is, but I would agree
me,
there's
it's
some fruit in there.
Like a citrusy note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing real dark.
No.
Lighter fruit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's got pretty good color on it too. Not the darkest thing, but it's decent.
It smells inviting.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ethanol
ready?
on the nose.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's got a good mouthfeel.
It does have a good mouthfeel.
Yeah, it coats the palate really, really well.
And it's to me, the taste is like halfway between a bourbon and some of these light American whiskeys. that I've been tasting. Like it's got a little bit different flavor from your traditional bourbon whiskey. Not quite as bold in the molasses brown sugar as we typically get. It's that fruit to me really came through, and I've got kind of like a American whiskey bourbon vibe going on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I got a little bit of that oak, that citrus note on it, but not the brown sugar like you were saying. None of that brown sugar, vanilla, and it is different, but it's good.
Now that second sip changed a little bit from my first sip for me. That second sip, I got a little bit more like cocoa and the fruit coming through.
Oh, I'm definitely getting the cocoa. I was thinking like it's a chocolate there. Definitely getting the cocoa.
I was gonna say you got the sweetness now on that second sip at the tip of the tongue.
Yeah, that first sip of the day was kind of spicy, but it being the first sip of the day, that first one's always a little spicy. So.
But I think the spiciness was more at the back end of it.
It was on the back end, yeah. It wasn't right on the front of the palate or anything, but.
Well, it does say it's we know it's a small batch.
Yeah.
And we know it's Kentucky distilled, so it's not in Indiana, it's not an MGP, and which is not unusual, and I don't have a problem with MGPs. So we're talking a Kentucky distillation that they've blended and kept in a barrel for 5 years. I don't know if it's a blend of multiple barrels, meaning of different whiskeys or different from, or it's just different number of the same barrels, and they blended it until they got the consistency they wanted. But
yeah, that's another thing I like about them too, is they put all that on there, and they're not trying to hide that they didn't make it. They'll tell you where it come from. The only thing I wish they would put on their bottles is the mash bill.
Yeah.
Other than that, the rest of the information is there for you to find.
That's a pretty good sipper. I mean, I have no problems drinking that at all.
And you know, we were getting that leather note on the nose, but I definitely do not get that on the palate.
It's not real sweet, but it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you bite into an orange and you get that good orange flavor, but it's not like a Valencia when it's real sweet. It's more fruity, more citrusy than sweet. This kind of reminds me of a lesser sweet bourbon, but you still have a lot of that flavor going on because that fruit to me is really coming through.
And like I usually tell him, is you get that zestiness on your tongue.
Yeah,
those citrus Florida oranges that you get when you're biting into them.
And I got a little bit of a Kentucky hug going on there. It's the first bourbon of the day, but nice and warming, not like in your face. Like wow. I think to me the proof is perfect for the flavor you're getting out of that. You know, sometimes you're going like, man, I wish I had a lot more flavor. So the only way to do that is to have a higher proof. I think it's a good balance of flavor and proof.
I would agree.
It's really good. I enjoyed it, definitely.
Yeah, so to me, it's better than I remember sampling.
Yeah.
That could be.
I didn't remember mine to begin with, but.
Yeah, I mean, I sampled a lot of stuff that day before we went back there and we picked our selections, and it's better than I remember.
We probably, if we had tried it again, would have bought us a bottle.
Probably.
To bring home.
Well,
it's a good thing we did try it again because we bought enough.
You make sure you pour yourself a sample of it, so because I'm sure one of us is going to be going back there again, and maybe next time we'll pick up batch 3.
Oh, there we go.
But I'm always kind of like, do I ever want to pick up batch 1 of anything? I'm kind of like hesitant of picking up. It's like the first year of a car. Like, no, let them work out the bugs, right? It's the same thing with whiskey. Like batch 1, I'm not too sure about. But by the time they get to batch 2, usually they figured it out.
Got some kinks worked out on that.
Got the kinks worked out. I think you know they're trying to sell this in all. They're not in every state. They told me, but in the states they're in, they're really trying to get this out there and get past just being a custom whiskey maker, which they're known for, which they're famous for, and come up with something that anybody could buy in any of the states they sell it. I think they got a winner.
I do too. Yeah. I definitely think they'll sell that, no problem.
I would love to see this sitting on more shelves here in the North Georgia area. You don't see it a lot here.
Yeah, and I've actually told them about that. I said, even in Atlanta, I've got 2 or 3 stores that I see it in, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
I said, you need a salesman? I'm available next year.
They're a great company too. Everybody out there was friendly.
They are fabulous people. If you ever go there, and they will bend over backwards to get you what you want before you leave.
Yes. Yeah, and promise you will have plenty to sample.
Well, Jamie, final thoughts on what you taste.
Final thoughts for me is I really enjoyed it. I enjoy that zestiness. I'm like you. I wouldn't compare it to the sweet orange. It's more that zesty, like I said, Florida orange note with a slight chocolate on it. So it would definitely be a buy for me, and probably have a backup of it.
What about you, Daniel? What do you think?
No, I really enjoyed that one as well. I don't think we mentioned the price on this guy. In memory serves me correctly, and I'm going off of memory, it was $54.99 for that bottle. So definitely not a bad price.
Wow. We'll put that on the bottom of the screen because I didn't buy this particular bottle. It was gifted to me. But that is,
for the price, that's a good bottle.
Yes.
And be honest with you, if it was even 69, mid-70s, I'd still buy it.
It was 54 or 59, one of the two, and I want to say it was 54.
For $60, there's not a whole lot of bourbons that have that kind of experience for $60. I'm sorry. Sorry, Big 8. They did a good job.
It had great flavor to it for that.
So, well done, Southern Collective. You got another winner on your hands, and hopefully the word will spread. We'll certainly spread it here at Appalachian Bourbon Society and Bourbon Riders. In fact, I'm going to bring this back at our next bottle share to because a lot of people have tasted their custom stuff, and it's really high proof, and not everyone is a high proof person like I'm not. That is a good drinker. I think people would enjoy that.
Definitely a nice sipper right there.
Well, thank you for inviting me on a fresh crack. I feel really privileged to be here.
Thanks for coming. We enjoyed having you. You're welcome back anytime.
Well, Daniel, close out the show for us.
If you have tried any Southern Collective, please let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And always, please drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. And until next time,
keep it neat.